Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Arvam Kul. Today again I have come up with an English story inspired by Amar Chithra Katha. This story is taken from Elephant Stories book of Amar Chithra Katha. The title of today's story is The Royal Elephant. Let's quickly dive into the story. When King Brahmadatta reigned in Varanasi, there lived not far from the city a colony of carpenters. Every day they would sail down the river and enter a dense forest to fell trees for timber. Thus they moved from forest to village and back again. Work was plentiful. One day, as they sat down to their midday meal, they saw an elephant. They said, "He is coming towards us. He is limping and seems to be in great pain." The elephant came up to the carpenters and held out to food. "I stepped on something. I think it's a splinter." The men said, "You are right. It has entered quite deep into the flesh." They removed the splinter, bathed and dressed the wound, and nursed the foot back to health. The elephant said, "You have been very kind to me. I would like to come here every day and help you." The elephant served them well for a number of years. One day, the men saw the elephant coming with his young son. They astonished. "What a beautiful white animal!" The elephant said, "I am no longer as active as I used to be. I have brought my son to take my place." The young elephant worked hard and he helped to load and unload timber. He fetched and carried tools and transported logs. More, he brought joy and laughter into the carpenters' lives, for he kept their children amused. One day, quite by accident, the rain washed some of his droppings into the river. Later, downstream, when the royal elephants bathed, the trainer observed the droppings of a noble animal and reported the same to the king. The king ordered, "Scour the countryside. If there is such an animal, he should adorn the royal stables." The king himself set out with a band of trusted men. Within minutes, they traced the elephant. When the king and his party drew nearer, the men asked, "Your Majesty, how can we be of service to you?" For which the king replied, "We would like this elephant for our royal stables." The elephant seized the opportunity to help his friends. "These men have been very kind to me. I am greatly indebted to them." The king turned to his men and said, "Pay them 100,000 pieces of gold for his tail, the same for his trunk, and for each of his 4 feet." The elephant was not satisfied. "You must not think me greedy, Your Majesty. They need clothes, and the children too must be provided for. We admire your loyalty. We shall more than satisfy you," the king said. Upon receiving this assurance, the elephant agreed to go with the king. It was a sad leave taking. He said, "A king's command must be obeyed," and the elephant left for Varanasi with the king and his men. The city wore a festive air. The elephant was led to his gaily decorated stable. The nobles and ministers looked on in admiration. One of the men said, "He is the most majestic animal I have ever seen. Mark my words, he will prove his worth in times of war." The king made over half of his kingdom to the elephant. "You are a brother to me and companion for life." The elephant became deeply attached to the king and followed him everywhere. A few months later, the queen was expecting a baby. "The elephant has brought us great good fortune," they discussed, but their joy was short lived. The king fell seriously ill and the king died. The kingdom was in danger and the king of Kosala was marching towards Varanasi to capture it. The ministers discussed about the lack of leadership in the kingdom. The queen went to the elephant and asked him to take charge of the battle. The elephant heard about the death of the king and was deeply worried. He said, "How can I live without my master?" The queen replied, "As I do for the child and for this kingdom, at this moment it is in great danger." The elephant received the queen's blessings, and the keeper of the royal stables got him ready for the battle, and the king's men felt their hopes rise. The elephant charged forward and led the battle. The battle was won, and the elephant stood before the queen, his proud head bowed before his infant master. The son grew up to inherit the kingdom, which he ruled wisely and well. If you like this story and if you want to listen to more such stories in English and Tamil, please subscribe to my channel. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and place your comments below. Thank you so much We'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.